Good afternoon, this is Terry from the Frugal Connection. I want to welcome you to my kitchen today. I was in the mood for something sweet, and so what I decided to do is put together some chickpea peanut butter cookies. These come together in just a few minutes with simple ingredients. They're quick and easy, and I want to invite you along with me while we make these. Okay, these are the ingredients we're working with today. I have 2.5 cups of rolled oats, a 1/2 cup of all natural peanut butter with no added sugar. It's just peanuts. In fact, I made this myself from dry roasted peanuts. I also have 8 Medjool dates. I have a 1/2 cup of chickpeas, 2 flax eggs in that white bowl there. I already pre-made them, so it's 2 tablespoons of flax meal and 6 tablespoons of water, and you let that sit for a few minutes so that the meal will absorb the water. I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, which is optional, and I'm going to use some homemade vanilla extract, and I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of that, and that is it. Okay friends, the first thing we're going to start with is I'm going to take my 2.5 cups of oats, I'm going to put them in my food processor here, and I'm going to turn this into oat flour. So this is going to take a couple of minutes, and we'll see what happens. Okay, there you have it. It's not perfect, it's not perfectly fine. I got it pretty fine, but it's not like the super fine flour you purchase in the store, but it's okay. They're peanut butter cookies. I kind of want them to have a little chew to them, and this will work fine. And I'm just going to dump this into a larger bowl because I need my food processor again to grind up the dates. All right, so to my food processor, I'm going to put in my dates, and now I'm just going to give these a good blend because I kind of want them to break down into little tiny pieces, and then I'm going to add the rest of my wet ingredients in here, which will blend it into the super fine paste. All right, so that's pretty good. They're chopped up into teeny tiny pieces. Okay, now to this I'm going to add my 1/2 cup of chickpeas. I'm going to also add in my peanut butter. Now I've done a video before on how to make your own peanut butter. It's super simple. So I made a large batch of peanut butter the other day from 2 jars of dry roasted peanuts, and I can link those videos somewhere on the screen so you can find those if you want to see them. And I'm going to add my flax eggs into here because again, this is just plant-based, so I'm not using dairy, I'm not using eggs, oil, any of that stuff. And I'm going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I'm just going to eyeball this. My oven has been preheating to 350 degrees. That just went off. And now I'm going to give this a good blend again. Oh my goodness, the peanut butter and date combination smells great. So now this does not have any added sugar in it. The only sugar that you're going to get in this is what's coming from the dates, which in this case I don't mind because it's a fruit. All right. Now what I'm going to add, I'm going to take my baking soda and my salt, and I'm going to add it right to my oats. Mix that in there. And then I'm going to put this all right in the food processor along with the peanut butter mixture. And I'm going to give it a blend again. All right, I got to scrape down the sides here. I want to make sure that I get all that flour blended in there so there's no particles of the oat flour that's not mixed together. All right, I think what I'm going to have to do, just because it's a lot for this food processor, is I'm going to transfer it into my bowl here and just finish mixing it together in the bowl. I just want to make sure I get the last little bit of oat flour mixed into the batter. It smells so, so good right now. And the amazing thing with this is I did not use any oil or fat. The only fat that I used came from the all natural peanut butter. It's a healthy fat. And the only, I use the egg replacer with the flax meal. And there you have it. There's my peanut butter dough. And I'm going to just get this mess cleaned up and I'll meet you back here to scoop out the cookies. All right, friends, welcome back. I cleaned up a little bit and now I have a little scooper here and I am going to scoop out my cookies and put them on my parchment lined cookie sheet. And I'm just going to evenly space these so they have room to spread out, because I'm going to take my fork here, just like traditional peanut butter cookies, and I'm going to do a crisscross pattern on the top, so they need a little bit of room to spread out. But when they cook, they're not going to spread. So what we want to do is flatten them a little bit, and I think that fork will do the trick. Now, I've been missing in action on this channel for a couple of weeks, probably a little bit longer. Some of that reason is this Monday after Easter, early in the morning, my mother-in-law passed away. She was 90. We had just celebrated her 90th birthday at the beginning of April, and but she ended up with sepsis from an untreated infection, and she had Alzheimer's. So, even though we're sad, it was a blessing in some ways. And the service we're going to be having for her is Sunday. It's a graveside service. So my heart hasn't been in making videos, but today I kind of wanted to get these cookies done, and I thought, well, why I'm making these anyway, let me go ahead and film and have a recipe ready for you. I also had a conference I was at and all kinds of craziness. Usually when the spring rolls around, that's my busier season in ministry. And so that's just the way it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles. All right, so this is making a good amount, actually. Now these cookies are going to be higher in protein because they have the chickpeas in them. They have oats in them. Again, the all natural peanut butter, dates, and that's it. They're super easy to put together. And other than doing it for the camera, I literally, it would take me just a couple minutes. All right, so now what I'm going to do, these are the cookies. It made 4 times 21 cookies. Doing math for the camera is not my strong point. All right, so now I'm just going to push down with a fork and make a crisscross pattern, get them kind of flattened out a little bit, because they will also cook faster that way. Oh my goodness, I think this is going to be a winner. I preheated my oven to 350 degrees. And then I'm going to start out by baking these for probably about, I'm going to start with 10 minutes and then go from there. This gives me a little sweetness without the guilt. Now, I generally do not make a lot of these type of things because the reality is that even though it's plant-based and it's got no added granulated sugar or maple syrup or anything like that, it just kind of triggers me wanting to eat more and more sweet, so I don't want to fall back into that temptation, especially given the fact that I had lost so much weight when I started eating this way. I lost 73 pounds, so I want to keep it off. I went to the doctor this morning. My blood pressure was awesome. I've been off my blood pressure medicine for over a year, and it was 118/70 this morning, so that was really good. All right, so these are going in the oven. I'm gonna keep them in there for probably about 10 minutes and I will check on them and see if they need to be longer. I'm gonna clean up my mess over here in the sink and I will meet you back here when they're done. All right, friends, I just took them out of the oven. They look and smell amazing. I kept them in there for 12 minutes. What you want is just the outside edge to get a little bit brown, but they're still fairly soft because if you cook them too long, then they just dry right out. But they look so good, and I'm going to just transfer them onto my wire rack. And this will be a great option for me in the afternoon or even for breakfast. You know, I could have one for breakfast. But I find for me what helps best is to start the day with something not sweet. So for example, I mean, other than like if I put fruit in my oatmeal. So like often I'll have a bowl of oatmeal with a banana, some chia seeds, some flaxseed, and like banana, strawberries, blueberries, things like that. All right, so let me put this to the side and we're gonna give them a taste test. All right, I want to give it a taste test and see what they taste like. I can tell you already, I know they're going to taste great because they smell absolutely amazing. Very yummy. And to be honest, it's just really a hint of sweetness because the only sweetener in it is the Medjool dates. But it's enough sweetness that it's not like you're thinking it's not a cookie. But oh my word, very good. My whole purpose of this channel is to show you how to cook plant-based whole food on a budget with very simple ingredients that you find in your normal grocery stores. You don't have to get specialty items, and how to do it simply. It doesn't take a lot of effort. And it's just a way to kind of walk your way into health, but to do it frugally so that you're not breaking the bank while you're doing it, especially in this day when grocery prices are just through the roof right now. Anyway, have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.